Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. Let's see about the important topics of the day. Goods exports grew 6%, imports 16.5% in 2020 to 2023. BBC, India's foreign exchange violation under Enforcement Directorate scandal. The goal of building a popular Dalit agenda. India signs Memorandum of Understanding with the World Food Programme for sending wheat to Afghanistan. Bharat Bio watching demand before resume production. So these five important topics I find important for the day. We'll have a deep look into these topics. The first topic is about goods exports grew 6%, imports 16.5% in 2022 and 2023. This particular topic comes under your General Studies Paper 3, the subject Indian Economy, subtopic Growth and Development. So, what is the context exactly? The India's goods exports declined for the second successive month in the March, falling a sharp 13.9 percentage to 38.38 US dollar. 38.38 billion US dollar, while imports declined 7.9 percentage to 88.11 billion US dollar. So total goods exports in the year of 2020 to 2023 rose to 6.03 percentage to 447.46 billion US dollar, and import surged by a steeper in terms of 16.5 percentage to 714 billion US dollar in the year of 2020 to 2023. So exactly the statics based on the imports and exports of this particular year between 2020 to 23. So where are the areas that oil and electronics are the areas? Uptick in terms of outbound shipment was largely led by petroleum up to 27% to 94.5 billion US dollar, followed by electronic goods that rose to 7.9% to 23.6 billion US dollar. We need to know a little bit of background regarding this India's exports capacities. So, strengthening India's export capacity is one of the major concern for our country. We need to understand what are the major sectors that contribute to the Indian exports. Major sectors. First sector, which is petroleum. Petroleum products. It contributed in a major way in terms of India's exports, particularly the crude oil prices rising due to the pandemic. And also it made worse by the geopolitical tension due to the Russia and Ukrainian war. So if you take the previous data, 55.5 billion US dollar worth of petroleum products, a massive rise around 150 percentage over last year, the recent statistics. Next, about the engineering goods. This engineering goods around 50 percentage growth in the exports, particularly if you take financial year of 2022, this particular statistics came. Remember, all pump tools, carbides, air compressors, engines, and generators manufacturing MNC companies in India are doing trading at all-time high and also shifting more production units in India. Third category is about jewelries. So import duty on cut and polished diamonds in this year budget, it's going to rise. So we are expecting there will be a more export in terms of jewelry. Then about agricultural products. See, Government of India is pushing to meet global demand for food amid the pandemic. So We need to understand exports of rice worth around 9.5 billion US dollar, highest among the all agriculture commodities. The last one is about the textiles and apparels. India's textile and apparel exports, including the handicrafts. Remember, the government of India come up with a scheme name called Mitra, Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel Park Scheme, which is giving a strong booster to this sector to do the exports. So these are all the areas where the sectors contribute to Indian exports. Even we are facing multiple challenges as well in terms of India's export growth, about rising in terms of protectionism and deglobalization. That is the first major concern and challenges we can take that we are facing. Because, protectionist trade policies, due to Russia-Ukraine war, that is popularly called as disrupted global political order. Next, the lack of basic infrastructure. India's manufacturing structure lacks sufficient in terms of the manufacturing hubs and lack of innovation due to low spending in terms of research and development. So we need to boost this innovation as well. So evolving, innovating, and growing is a major concern. Specialization versus diversification. See, high diversification combined with low specialization. So lack of competitiveness compared to other countries is less here in India. So these are all the challenges related to Indian export. So based on this particular article, we need to understand the current trend and what exactly the sectors which is contributing more exports in India are saying what are the challenges that we are facing in terms of export. Let us move to the next topic of the day. BBC India foreign exchange violations under ED scanner. This particular topic comes under your General Studies 3, Indian Economy, the subtopic Capital Market and Money Laundering. The Enforcement Directorate has initiated an inquiry into the British Broadcasting Company that is located in India under the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, for suspected violations. In this particular article, what we need to understand is the BBC India comes under the compliant by Enforcement Directorate in terms of inquiry for their suspected violence. The background of this particular article, we need to understand what is meant by this FEMA, F-E-M-A. Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. What exactly the objective of this particular term? See, which is considered as a legal framework for the administration of foreign exchange transaction. Foreign exchange transaction. So there should be a administration in terms of forex transaction. In India, it is provided by the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. So two important terms we need to understand here under this. One is CAT, that is current account transactions. Another one is again CAT, that is capital account transactions. All transaction undertaken by a resident that do not alter his or her assets or liabilities, including the contingent liabilities outside India, are current account transactions. We can take an example of payment in terms of connection with foreign trade, expenses, expenses in connection with foreign travel, and even expension related to the education. These are all the examples we can take for the current account transaction. Next, capital account transaction. It includes those transactions which are undertaken by a resident of India such that his or her assets or liabilities outside India are altered. Example, investment in the foreign securities, acquisition of immovable property, that is particularly outside of India. These are all the examples that we can take for current capital account transactions. Remember, a person resident in India is defined in Section 2, Clause V of FEMA 1999 as, barring a few exceptions, a person residing in India for more than 182 days. Any person or body, corporate registered or incorporated in India, an office, branch, or agency in India owned or controlled by a person resident outside India. An office, branch, or agency outside India owned or controlled by a person resident in India. So, one particular provisions under this particular section, an office, branch, or agency in India owned or controlled by a person outside India. That particular section, that provisions of this BBC, due to the issue happening in terms of the transaction, there was an inquiry by Enforcement Directorate over BBC. These information you must acquire related to this particular topic. Let us move to the next important topic of the day. The goal of building a popular Dalit agenda. One of the article covered here, and it is very important related to the special day as well. Directly we'll move to that particular article. Let us see what are the important points that we need to gather. So the goal of building a popular Dalit agenda. This particular topic is very important. It comes under your modern history of India. General Studies paper 1, the subtopic name called important personalities. So it is to the credit of modern liberal ideas. Capitalist development, democratic churning, the Dalits are now well recognized social and political force. You know about the transformation which was made under the maverick leadership of Bhimarao Ramji Ambedkar. However, Ambedkar's vision to elevate the Dalits as an independent religious community. In this particular article, related to the vision of social justice which made by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Dalit assertion and what is the exact reality which is happening nowadays. Just read this article and add on to this, I want to give you more information regarding the personality that comes under your GS1, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So today, commemorating the birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, statue set for inauguration of 125 feet in Hyderabad. So we need to know a few information about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He is a social reformer, a jurist personality, economist, author, orator, a scholar, a multi, talent personality. He is known as father of the Indian Constitution and was the first Independence India law minister, father of the Indian Constitution. So, the contributions given by him, he led Maha Satyagraha in the year of 1927 March against Hindus who were opposing the decision of the municipal board. He participated all three roundtable conferences at London along with the other parties from India. Election and designation 1936. He was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly as a legislature. He was appointed in the year of 1942 as a executive member under the Executive Council of Viceroy. 1947, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar accepted PM Nehru's invitation to become India's law minister in the first cabinet of independent India. And by end of his life, what he did is shifted to Buddhism. Okay, so 1951 he left the cabinet over the differences in terms of the Hindu code bill and he converted to Buddhism. He died on 6th December 1956. Chaitya Bhumi is a memorial to B.R. Ambedkar located in Mumbai And remember, he was awarded India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, in the year of 1990. So now, in preliminary examination, you may expect a question related to his important works. So he is the author of multiple journals. I want to give you the important journal which wrote by him. Muknayak, Bahishkrit Bharat, Samatha Janata. So in the year of 1920, the year of 1927, 1929, 1930. These are all the popular journals which hold by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And popular books written by Ambedkar, Annihilation of Caste, Buddha or Karl Marx, and The Untouchable. The Untouchable. Who are they and why they have become untouchables? Buddha and his Dhamma. The rise of fall of Hindu women. The rise and fall of Hindu women. These are all the four major works by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And organization, three important organizations in the year of 1923, Bahishkrit Hitkarni Sabha, 1936 Independent Labour Party, 1942 Scheduled Caste Federation. So these are all the important works which made by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Add on to that, Hyderabad, they are going to unveil 125 feet statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar of commemorating the birth anniversary. Let us move to the next important topic. The topic here is about India signed WFP to send wheat to Afghanistan. Sending wheat to Afghanistan under WFP, World Food Program. This is very important topic. See, in newspaper you have this small portion. India signs MOU with WFP for sending wheat to Afghanistan, but you need to know more information regarding the same. Right, this topic comes under your GS2 and also GS3. GS2 international relations because India is signing MOU, and GS3 it is related to the inclusive growth, food security comes under your Indian economy. In this particular article, we need to understand about the WFP, World Food Program. It was founded in the year of 1961 by Food and Agriculture Organization and United Nations General Assembly with its headquarters Rome, Italy. It is also a member of United Nations Sustainable Development Group, which is a coalition of UN agencies and organizations aimed at fulfilling the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So WFP works in over more than 120 countries and territories to bring life-saving food to people displaced by conflict and made destitute by disasters. What are all the objective of this WFP? Remember, as I told you, emergency assistance as well as rehabilitation and development aid. That is a major concern. Two-thirds of its work is in conflict affected countries where people are three times more likely to be undernourished than elsewhere. So it works closely with the other two Rome-based UN agencies, that is FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, which helps the countries draw up policy and change legislation to support sustainable agriculture. Next one is about IFAD, International Fund for Agriculture Development, which finances the project in terms of the poor rural areas and also supporting SDG implementation. So this year WFP come up with a strategic plan from 2020 to 2025, turning the tide against the hunger. So the plan is about agenda for sustainable development goals as well. It providing the outlines in the many way that WFP working in partnership can most efficiently save and change the lives of poor across the world. So the world has eradicated the food insecurity and malnutrition that is known as SDG to zero hunger. So national and global actors have achieved the SDG 17, that is partnership for the goals. Remember, this funding is done by governments and corporates, even individuals. This three category area where the fund used to raised for the program because its principle related to donors, particularly governments. Governments are the principal source of funding for the WFP. Whoever the member countries, they used to do funding, and the food will be provided to the poor countries as well. So you need to understand this MOU with Afghanistan, with the WFP to provide wheat to Afghanistan signed by India. Next article related to the business page. The topic is about Bharat Bio watching demand before resuming the production. This topic comes under your General Studies 3, Indian Economy Production and Science and Technology, Biotechnology. Covaxin maker Bharat Biotech will wait and watch demand before resuming the production of indigenously developed COVID-19 vaccine amid rising the COVID-19 cases in India. The past days that we are discussing about the rising cases of COVID here in India. So based on that, the Bharat Bio is like watching the demand. Based on that, they will resume the production. Here they are talking about Incovac. There has been several requests for large-scale supplies of Incovac. So what is this Incovac? Based on this particular article, we need to know the add-on information regarding the same. Bharat Biotech intranasal vaccine. We can call it as BBV154 or Incovac. It's the world's first intranasal vaccine to be approved as a booster dose for COVID-19. What is this Incovac? It's a nasal vaccine. It's a recombinant replication deficient adenovirus vector vaccine with a pre-fusion stabilized spike protein. The significance of this particular Incovac being delivered through a nasal spray, it will do away with the need for needles and syringes, currently required for all COVID-19 vaccines available. It will reduce the dependence on personnel trained to give shots because it's like nasal, right? We can spray in the nose. So, personnel trained to give shots, there is no need of dependency. It and also Incovac is effective for Omicron variants that replicate in the upper respiratory tract before entering the lungs. So the mechanism of BBV154 may produce local antibodies in the upper respiratory tract. This is the second heterologous booster to be included in the vaccination program after Corbevax. So there is a lot of demand and request in terms of doing production of this, Incovac. It will not be administered to any other category for now, including those who have already taken booster dose. Those who have taken Covishield and Covaxin can now take this nasal vaccine as a heterologous booster dose. These are all the important topics of the day that you guys need to go ahead. Apart from that, I'll give you other topics where you can give a little bit of attention. So where we can go is like about the literature part. There is an article related to the literature part. So this Ambedkar statue to be unveiled today, I told you, just go through it. Modi recalls ancient Tamil inscription on democratic politics. So our Prime Minister Narendra Modi recalls ancient Tamil inscription on democratic politics. This particular topic comes under your General Studies 1, Art and Culture. The subtopic is Literature. 1100-year-old inscription from Tamil Nadu talks about rules for a local body, including provisions for the disqualifying of members. So, on the occasion of Tamil Puttandu, the Tamil New Year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi harked back to ancient Tamil culture and various references to the democracies. Just go through this topic. Apart from that, in the editorial page also, we need to give some attention regarding unity in diversity. Opposition parties must recognize their differences will coming together. UPA and NDA, the two fronts parties are there, but other non-BJP states needs to come up with a strong third front to contest in the upcoming assembly election. Just read this particular topic, and they are talking about unity and diversity related to the ideologies. Then is the current regulatory system equipped to deal with artificial intelligence? Very interesting article. You can read this. Should we fear AI? Because artificial intelligence any different from other dispute technologies? There is a lot of issues happening related to the AI applications today. Just go through this particular topic, you will get an idea about what exactly the problem. This topic comes under your GS3, Science and Technology, Artificial Intelligence. Next topic that you can read, that is the rules for recognition as a national party. Last 2 days, there was a news regarding Aam Aadmi Party got a national party recognition by the Election Commission of India. And even yesterday, we discussed about what are all the conditions that a party can get the identification of national party. So just read this particular topic, which gives you the clear idea related to the criteria, what can be recognized by the ECI to provide the national party as well. This topic comes under your General Studies 2, Constitutional Bodies, Election Commission of India. Right. So go through all the topics, whatever we discussed in brief, and also the remaining topics give a read, and you come to know about what exactly they are talking about. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.